What's up, guys? Kwasi for Kwasi Media and Kwasi Animations. Check this out. You're gonna hear a lot of sounds. There's a car started outside. My heater's running because it's chilly. I'm running a live stream on my mobile device, and I'm letting the volume play just a little bit so I can keep up what's going on with the actual person that's doing the live stream. But today we're gonna do something a little different. We are going to look into the world of workflow process. So I'm doing a short film, and it's only about it's saying 1 page on my script, but really it's like 3 lines, and that is all. So, but there's going to be, I want to say there's going to be a lot of little things going to happen. Right now, what you're seeing is MakeHuman. This is what I use to make people, but we're going to go through the process of making the people, dressing them, and so on and so on. Now, the thing is I'm going to do this a different route. So this is going to be a few videos before we get to the process of, so my thing is just showing you the process of actually setting out to make an actual animation and going through the entire pipeline. All right, so that means voiceovers have to be done. It means that characters have to be created. It means environments have to be created. So I have one environment for this here. It's a setting that's basically interested somewhere and it's wooded, and et cetera, and we're going to go through the process of all those things over a series of videos. So sit back, get ready, and enjoy it. I'm going to talk best I can and go from there. Another thing I want to mention is here, only thing I'm going to put on them, I'm not going to give them any kind of shading because I'm going to do this in an anime style. Basically the same shaders you see me using, or that I showed you for like the Xenoverse 2 characters, I'm going to place on this character. So the shader you see on the person now is going to remain on that person. Meaning, in other words, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to create my own colors and tones for them, and they're going to be animated, shaded anime style, including the clothing that we're going to set out to create. So we're going to go through the trials of actually creating clothing, rigging it to the character, and going from there. So I'm going to go through the process. If you've never used MakeHuman before, it's basically a character creator. Now, I'm only going to put one thing on the person from the actual app, from the program, and that's shoes, because I don't model those. So I'm going to use a pair of boots because the setting is sort of like, I guess you would say kind of like Dungeons and Dragons fantasy style type of setting. So they're going to be hooded characters, this and that. So I'm going to do all of these things myself. I'm not going to say it's going to look rudimentary, but understand that I'm really just diving into doing modeling clothing and stuff. So bear with me. Now, we're going to go ahead, and it's going to be 2 males. So we're going to go ahead and set this up as male. So here you have a gender slide for the macro. Their ages, down here in the bottom, you can see age. So I'll take them about, let's say 40s. All right. Add a little muscle to them, give them a little weight, change proportions a little bit for it to be a little bit more top heavy. And here you can figure out, like, you can go all the way up and it just say, or do this, and you get this sort of look from each character by default. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a space between each one that kind of suits me. And now understand, I'm also going to change how the character looks from the actual tabs. So you have a tab here for age, right? So I can give him a really, really kitty face, or I can give him an older face, or we go forward and it looks older. All right, so I'm probably going to come somewhere between there and there. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then we can give them a smaller head. We give them a big fat face or a really small face or whatever. I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit because I want it to be a little bit sunken in. And you can even deal with the angle of the head. All right, I'm not gonna do all that. So let's go back to front facing. Go to head size, because over here you have categories: head shape, head size, etc. I'm gonna go to head size, and I want to scale it up and down vertically. This is what I want particular for this particular character that I'm making. And this video is going to be us designing the character, exporting the character, and bringing the character into Blender. And then once I get the character in Blender, then the next video will be me actually making the clothing for the character, shading the character, and then modeling the clothing for the character. That's going to be the next video. So right now we're going to actually design our character. I'm not sure if I want him to have brown eyes or light brown eyes or different eye color. So let's go to forehead, because I'm not going to do anything else with that. We're going to bring the temples in some. Here you can do all sorts of things. So we're just going to model the character. I'm not going to really give you a tutorial about what to do here with this. You can angle the way that the brows move. Like here, if you look here, let's go back to the front facing, and see the extreme. So I'm kind of giving a deeper brow line. You could even give it a bigger bulge here. You can go completely crazy with it or completely flat. I'm just gonna leave it where it already was. All right, let's go back to the front. Go deal with the neck. I don't think I want to do anything with the neck, but we definitely want to get rid of the double chin. Bring it in some. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm going down the chin and jaw. I'm going to find that area that I want and basically see how I want this to go. Do we want some prominence? Let's turn it to the side. Now, it looks pixelated. Like you see how it has a jagged edge on the bottom? There is a smoothing button here, and it will smooth all that out. All right, but I tend to do that in Blender, so I don't do it in program, because when it brings that subsurface in from here, it doesn't always work that well, or as well as I would like it to. And that's just my own personal thing. That's not necessarily anything against the program itself. Right, to turn sideways again. Let's see about the chin. Push it right about there. Now I'm going to deal with the eyes. I don't really want his eyes like that. I'm going to come down on the scroll on the slider, and we have scale height 1, 2, and 3. 3 is on the outside, so I'm going to literally bring this all the way up to about there for both eyes. Excuse me. All right, there we go. And on the inside, I'm going to squeeze it a little bit. Yeah, squeeze it, put it just under the 1. Do the same thing for the right eye. There we go. I feel like that one's just not deep enough. Let me bring it a little deeper. Okay. Now we'll deal with the nose. Excuse me. I think I'll vertically stretch it a little bit more. Turn it a little. Go to details. See how we want to do the nostrils. Let's make them a little bit wider. Make the tip a little bit wider. Back to the front. Yeah. No, I'll scroll it. I'll squeeze it in. And that's moving this portion right here. And then this one's across the bridge. I'll squeeze it in a little bit more also. Yeah, it's still not enough. Let's go a little bit more. Come on. That's still not enough. Go a little bit more. There we go. That's what I want. And we're gonna go down to those features. Now, the features, you can do stuff like pushing in and out and all that. And I'm gonna use the compression to bring it down a little bit. There we go. And I want the tip to come out some more, so we're gonna go to volume. But I also believe that the tip is not as high up as it should be, so we're gonna bring the volume down a little bit more. Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. Alrighty then. Now here you don't have to do any like shift clicking, just middle mouse button, move it around, or I can scroll in and out, zoom in and out by right clicking, and then left click allows me to rotate. All right, so that being said, let's see, I went ahead and just muted that because I'm not really listening to it that much. Yeah. All right, so mouth. Now let's go to mouth. We're gonna go ahead and see, I kind of want the mouth to be a little small, so we're gonna bring it down some. All righty then. Squeeze it in, some little beady mouth. This is basically the antagonist character of the short film or the animation. Excuse me. All right, let's go to features. No, I want them to have beady lips, so I'm gonna leave it there. Not gonna mess with the ears. Cheeks. This is going to be a defining factor. Here we have cheek prominence, a scale of the prominence. So you see how it bulges in and out. So I'm going to literally take it down to about the C on cheek. Do the same thing for the right. And that's about right. Matter of fact, I'm going to change his forehead. Not his forehead, his brow line. I'm going to give him a little bit more of a bulge on his brow line. Now, here we're going to go to materials. And not materials, geometries, I'm sorry. Go back to the front. And we're gonna go to tongue. I'm gonna put in the tongue. I'm gonna put eyelashes on him. I'm gonna put eyebrows on him. Give him some teeth. And I'm not gonna do hair on these characters because they're gonna be hooded. Now later on, I'm gonna put hair on them because again, they're gonna be saved characters. So if I want to do like another animation, but again, this animation is just something I'm doing so it's not necessarily a series that's coming out or whatever. I mean, if it's received well, then maybe, yeah. All right, so let's go into materials. We're gonna go to eyes. I'm gonna give them light brown eyes. Yeah, that definitely changed the dynamic of what it looked like, didn't it? Okay, so there we go. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go to exporting. No, we're not. Go to pose and animate. I'm gonna go to default no toes. Need a rig, right? Let me go to pose and animate. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to go to the save bar. I'm going to save. I'm going to go into my folder, and I'm gonna use a folder I already have. All right, I'm just going to save him in there. Okay, so he's been saved, and I don't think we're going to do any more modeling things. That's pretty much best I'm going to do. I don't really want to give him any kind of definition in his body, mainly because the only thing I'm going to do is, like I said, for this episode we're going to model this character. The next video we're going to be showing you modeling the other character, so because it's 2 characters for the scene, right? So for him, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and go back to geometry, because I said I need to put boots on him. So I'm going to go find the boots that I want, and I have there's a few things in here, and then for the most part, so those boots should be on his feet. Yep, we're going to use these. Scroll out. So yeah, these are going to be the boots that we use. Okay, so both characters will probably have something similar. I mean, I have another set I might give the other guy, but right now both of them pretty much wear those. I might take this top portion off in Blender. From an editing standpoint, I might take this top portion off for the other guy, and then for him, just leave those. So now we'll go into, we'll just hit save. Let's go into export. For me, we're going to use MakeHuman Exchange XM2, MHX2. Put it on meter. Okay, and yeah, pretty much. So now we're going to take them into Blender, and we're going to do the next stages. So you're going to see all this happening right now as we go, instead of cutting. All right, so it's going to take a second. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want people to see some of the things that go into making animation. And a lot of times you don't get a chance to see those workflows. People say, oh, they have all these. This morning, I looked through talking like a lot of videos on YouTube that were talking about beginner level animation, and it's showing you how to move a cube. That's not what you want to know, right? You want to know what it takes to really deal with a character. So in this case, I decided what I would do is actually do an animation set of tutorials. I mean, not really tutorials, but workflow that showed you that. So for the remainder part of this right here, what we're going to do is we're going to hop into Blender. So that'll be in your next video. Okay, so I'm sorry, I know what I said, but the recording is not going to pull up Blender because I'm recording through OBS. So sorry. So check out the next video. It's right behind this one. All right, number love.